Did you find anything wrong with your box?
No, not really. I've put my old graphics card in, so
Does it seem to work better?
I've given it a bit of a workout today. I've had like four things running at the same time, and
Okay.
touch wood. Um,
Yeah.
You're talking on the broadcast, Clyde. And Good evening, race fans. Trying again now. All right, that sounds better then, doesn't it? Welcome again for the second time to the BSTV Prototype Endurance Challenge, brought to you by 365 hosts, by Damar, and by Yato. I've just pressed something on my screen now, which means I can not see this anymore. I can never do that though. Hey, right, I'm back. We are at Sebring. We are here at sunrise, and we are currently in qualifying. In the booth with me today is Bill Switzer. Good evening.
Good evening, Pete. Good evening, everybody.
And also Clyde, who's pressing random buttons and getting random results.
Good evening, everybody.
So, Bill, Sebring, the flattest track in the world, but also one of the most exciting ones, particularly for endurance racing. Yeah,
It certainly is. It's an icon for endurance racing. It's a mixed bag of tricks here. You got all kinds of corners, fast, slow, bumpy track, concrete, pavement, macadam, whatever you call it in part of the world you're from. It's got a lot to offer. It's usually hotter than Blue Blazes here, so it's very, very entertaining. I think it's perfect for this series. It ought to be a gas today.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. We've got a couple less drivers than last time, or one, two less drivers than last time. They might have other commitments. There was a 12-hour endurance race last night that somebody mentioned recently. I don't know anything about it, but it might be being tired after that. I know I am. So, yeah, we've got a quite a cool track at the moment. You're not too far from this track, are you, Bill?
About 2 hours away. I've been there many times. I've marshaled there. I've driven. I never raced there, but I've driven around the track many times, and it's a bundle of snakes. I'll tell you, it's really a difficult. Like this gentleman's experiencing.
Sounds making it look easy at the minute, though.
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, it's very flat. It's really hot here. Kind of humid. It's almost like being in the jungle without trees. I'll tell you, it's. Now the weather is not very friendly here, but it's an excellent track. It goes back a long time. A lot of 12-hour races, of course, which is the famous one that they have here. Is as I said, every notable prototype or GT car, any kind of professional series of that type has raced here. So it is a bona fide track. It's well maintained. It's used by racing schools and. As a matter of fact, even Indy cars tested here this year, which shocked the hell out of me. I'm surprised they raced here, but anyway, it's got a lot to offer. It's a long track. What else can I say? It's really excellent, brilliant, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it is a long lap, and that transition from concrete to tarmac is quite significant. It's a really bumpy track as well, isn't it, Bill? When you get round into Sunset, which is where Antoine Blancas is heading towards now, and trying to control the back end of the car, especially these ones, is a massive challenge.
Absolutely, and you better have your molars nice and tight because you can loosen a bump under there. I mean, there's certain places under there that is a heck of a lot bumpier than others, but in a low clearance car, I guarantee you're going to bottom out in there. It's rough. It's rough, and as you said, difference of tarmac versus concrete. The one good thing about the concrete surface, though, is it doesn't absorb the heat like tarmac does. So even though you have a hot track, it's not as hot on the concrete as it is on tarmac. And of course, a lot of the concrete is very old here. It goes back to World War II. It was a bomber training base in World War II, so it's been here a long time. I mean. Not obviously it's been added to with roads so that it's you can make a racing track out of it, but it's got a lot of old surfaces, and of course they haven't been repaired, so you're going to have bumps.
Yeah, and let's have a talk about what happened last time out. So we've had a change of team name. So what was Bushfink last time is now Bend Carbon Racing. And that was Antoine Blancas and also Wes Van Dijk that changed their team name. Antoine won last time with Tyler Newitt in second and Wes Van Dijk in third. Wes was racing yesterday in that 12-hour endurance that Next Level put on, and we hosted the broadcast for. In fourth place was Marnix Dewitt, and in fifth place was Kevin Devale. Is Kevin in the session? Yes, he is. Kevin's part of stage 1 racing. Hans Blankart was 6th. He is also here, as is Kevin De Winter, who was 7th. Roy Mass. I've not seen his name tonight yet. No, he's absent tonight. Sam Boozan was 9th. And Sam is obviously here. We saw him handling Le Mans turn stylishly. We'll call it stylishly, shall we?
That's nice.
Yeah, Ben Cullen in 10th place last time out. Jamie Jeffrey in 11th, but I can't see him in the standings at the moment here. Manuel Winants, who is definitely here because I've seen him, was 12th. Artie Boschart was 13th. Dion Neuveld was 14th. Alex Roggenbuck was 15th. And Chris Shaw was 16th and last time. If you remember, I think he had to quit because of a domestic issue. Hopefully he won't be plagued in such a way this time. So Antoine Blancas leads on 305 points because he got an extra 5 bonus points, probably for leading laps or fastest lap. Although Kevin De Winter, I think, got the fastest lap and got 5 points over Tyler Newitt on 278. So really still at the beginning of this, really, aren't we, Bill? There's plenty to go for.
Yeah, and hopefully, we'll attract more people. I mean, we still get a good race out of little cars, which a lot of our leagues have done, which we're very happy with. But it would be nice to have a few more. But yeah, it's as I said. Whoa! Whoops.
This way,
anyway.
Alex.
But anyway, what the heck was I saying? Oh yeah, it's an event that all the cars look alike except for the colors, which can be confusing to a yank like me. I mean, I'm used to seeing Fords and Chevys and Dodges and stuff, but that's okay. I mean, you get used to it. And this is really a nice car too. It's one of the latest ones that iRacing has added to the service. Replaced the HPD, which was I guess a Honda powered vehicle at the time, and most of the guys that have adapted to this that ran HPDs like this car a lot. So you have some experience in this car, don't you, Pete?
Yeah. I was waiting for Clyde's little chip in there. I do have experience, in inverted commas, of this car. I think Sam didn't speak to me for around about a week after I'd driven it in the endurance race that we were in at Le Mans. So, yeah, I like driving it. I don't think I'll race it in a team event again because it disappoints everybody else in the team that I'm in too much. So, yeah, there you go. These cars are going to disappear into this track potentially tonight, aren't they? Because there's only 14 of them. And like you say, it is a big track. We have some pit stops because we are fuel limited as far as I'm aware. What's the fuel limitation, Clyde? Yeah, some is the...
It's less than total.
It's less than 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, we'll do a lap. Hopefully we can find a driver that's not going to bin it. And we're on board with Wes Van Dijk. So he's into Sunset here. You'll spot the bumps. There's the start of them. Here they go, pounding away at the front shock absorbers. And then you're back on the gas well early in these cars. Don't forget, the faster you go, the more downforce you generate. The more downforce you generate, the faster you can go. So it's just a propelling effect. Into turn one. Get as close to that wall as you can. Don't run out too far that way. That's what Alex did a minute ago. And then into turn two here. Second gear in most cars. I don't know what they're doing it in this one. Hold it down here. Yeah, right. Cool. Oh, yeah, it's on his wheel. This is called Big Bend, as far as I remember. And we fly down here towards the hairpin. You shed all your speed down here. It is kind of a hairpin. It's like a little button hook, isn't it? And then it comes out through a mini chicane. And then you head down Fangio turn and straight. Cunningham is your next destination. Again, brake at the 3 marker and shed your speed down to probably second gear again. Oh, first. Fly around Collier, which is this series of turns here, and into Tower. I love this turn, apart from when I get it wrong. When you get it right, you are super fast. When you get it wrong, you might as well just give up. We fly down here towards Bishop, which is this series of turns, and then we start the Le Mans Complex, which is it just the final turn, Bill, or is it all of those?
I believe it's just this one right here. I believe
this one here, right? Okay, and then this is what they call.
He's giving it up. He's giving it up.
Yeah, he mustn't have been ahead of his time. I'll just have a look at what he was doing. Oh, it's gone off the screen now because he's reset the car. But yeah, that was about 80% of a lap. It is frantic. You don't get much rest in these cars. When you're driving slower cars, you get to look at the scenery a bit, don't you, Bill? And decide what you're going to have for dinner and stuff.
Exactly. The one thing that's very apparent on this track is, especially with this elevated view we have at the moment, you can tell where the cars kind of sneak off the edge of the track because you get that red clay look on the
yeah.
It's very apparent. The corner of the Pete. Whoa, what's going on there? We're doing donuts already? Goodness. Anyway, the corner Pete said he liked a lot is, as he said, if it goes wrong and you go out in that dirt, you are cooked, boy. I'll tell you, it just doesn't work out very well.
Yeah, and because it is lacking in concrete either side of you, when you do go off on this track, it's about 3 weeks to get back on track, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you, in real life, the grass is not that green at Sebring either. But oh well, it's it's a simulation.
So it's
it's more like burned up all the time usually.
I see.
Brown,
yeah,
or tan or straw.
Is it as slippy as it is in iRacing?
No.
Do you stand on it and just fall over because it's that slippy?
No, it's not that slippy.
And that's the bumps again. They are dramatic, aren't they?
I'll tell you, in real life, it's really wicked. Oh boy, I'll tell you, about put your head through the roof. It's unreal.
This is one of the tracks that we're spoiled with the number of pit boxes. Sadly, we're not making use of all of them tonight. We've got 14 drivers. We had 16 last time out. And hopefully we can get some good close racing. It should be very close between, in theory, Wes Van Dijk, who's currently top of the timing screens in this session. He's done a 1:44.58 as his fastest lap. Then Antoine Blanc as his teammate is next on a 1:44.83. And then we've got Chris Shaw on a 1:45.31. So they've got a good, half a second, Bill, over the next team down, which is our team, BSTV Esports Yellow. Yeah. So it's going to be other teams challenging the Bend Carbon team tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I would certainly say so. The one thing in my mind is Chris Shaw. I mean, Chris Shaw is kind of a, what would you call him? Kind of a ghost. He's the kind of guy that doesn't practice much, shows up, and in the other series we've had him in, he is one heck of a driver. He's usually always in contention. I hardly ever remember the times he's fallen out or whatever. He's really good at it, and I think he's going to be pretty good in this too. Of course, I don't know how much experience he has other than the first week that he had to quit early, but at that point he wasn't doing badly either. But he's a contender, no doubt. Yeah,
too right. After that, we have Marnix Dewitt for Greenleaf Racing. He's done a 1:45.49, so not far behind Chris at all at the moment. And then a very small jump to Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports Green, who's done a 1:45.54. Kevin De Winter, who we know is quick in virtually every car he ever drives, for Stage 1 Racing Juniors, on a 1:45.57. Then Hans Blancart, Stage 1 Racing Seniors, on a 1:45.85. So again, there's between Chris Shaw in third and Hans Blancart, so we'll go to Sam Buzan. Sam Buzan in eighth. There is half a second. And I know half a second is quite a long bit of track, isn't it, in a car like this, because of the rate that you're traveling. But again, in a race condition, you only have to be within about 1.5 seconds, and you're drawing on that toe, which is massive round here, isn't it? When you're getting on Ullman and the start-finish straight.
Oh, exactly. And another thing too, qualifying guys may be quicker, but like you mentioned, the toe and fender to fender and heel, and of course, if you're doing any kind of conserving fuel or any of that kind of stuff, it's it changes times altogether. You got to use your head too. You're probably not gonna run all flyer laps for what is this 90 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, 90-minute race it'll be.
Yeah, so you're not going to do a flyer the whole time, obviously, but I think it's going to turn out okay. I don't really think it's going to be a yawner. I think it's going to be okay.
Evening to Marco Namela on there, who says that we are basically gluttons for punishment after doing yesterday's 12-hour and this one for 90 minutes. And Gary Craig, good evening to Gary. Stacey's on the chat as well. As is that Jamie Jeffrey? Jeffy, is it Clyde? I can't remember. Who's that? I always forget this one. Oh yes, our biggest fan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yep, evening to James.
Klein sounds like he's eating cake again.
He's always eating something.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, mint ones. How can you not know what flavour they are? You're eating them. Maple and pecan matchmakers.
Oh, that's like praline, isn't it, or something?
Something like that, yeah. But that's like, I didn't know they did that. They've gone posh, haven't they? Thought that was a 1980s thing you bought when you couldn't think of any other Christmas presents for people. Are they? That's quality. The bottom end of our timing screen at the minute is Kevin DeVale, Artie Boschart, Manuel Winants, Alex Roggenbuck, Dion Neuveld, and Ben Cullen.
Wow.
Ben and Dion haven't actually set a time. Whether that's because they don't need to and they think they're going to win it in turn one, or because they don't think that they're going to move up, if you know what I mean. And therefore not worth investing. I'm not sure. Maybe they'll come out in the next 4 or 5 minutes and put in a blasting lap.
Could be.
Dion on the chat has said that all the Stage 1 drivers did the 24-hour Le Mans in the ISRC, I think that is, league that ended this afternoon. So I think there's going to be some pretty tired drivers on this track right now. Yeah, so surprisingly, Tyler isn't in the top 5 at the moment, given the fact that he turned in second at the end of last week's race. What do you reckon, Bill? Is he struggling?
Good question. Both he and Sam didn't sound too confident last night. I'll tell you, the guy that really put in the hours was Sam. Holy crap! I mean, he was up at the crack of dawn, and I don't know. He left us at about 2:00 in the morning, so I don't know. I don't know what kind of shape he's in today, but hope he had plenty of coffee. Oh, somebody's doing the wobble back and forth. That's one of our guys.
Tyler trying to get some heat in his tires, maybe. I don't know whether that does anything. People have different opinions on it. I don't ever see it having any difference. What does have a difference is when you're like stamping on your brake. That seems to drive a lot of heat into the front tires.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is team driving. Looking at it, so I think he's going to stay. Well, that car won't help if it gets in their way. It's not going.
No, they got by him.
Yeah. So I think there'll be a tow somewhere around here, but Sam's pretty much putting it down and leaving Tyler behind at the moment.
Well, you know, you were talking about the wobbling back and forth. Of course,
Whoa.
whoa, almost lost
Sorry
it.
about
Wow. No, that's okay. I saw it at the same time. You know, wobbling back and forth in real life obviously heats up the tires. But you see a lot of other cars, like I know Super V8s, V8 supercars, they accelerate and brake, you know, like violently. They accelerate in first gear and then really get hard on the brakes. So they heat up the tires and the brakes at the same time.
Yeah, and there used to be a cheat in the TCR that if you drove around with your handbrake on it, it drove loads of heat into your tires.
Woo. God help you if you need your handbrake, though.
Ben says Tyler's fuel saving in quali. That's good. And Artie Bosch on the in-game chat has said, what's another 90 minutes after 24 hours? A good attitude to have. I mean, these guys, they're hooked on racing just like the rest of us, but in an unnatural way, aren't they, Bill?
Yeah, for sure. I know there's a big race today, too. I got to notice the Porsche Tag Esports Championship is running today as well. So
yeah, that's a very popular one, actually.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know whether Mr. Kloosterman's in that.
No, I don't think he runs in that one. I think he's in the Canadian version, but he didn't run last time for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not quite sure, but he sent a note he's not racing today or something, even though his name was entered. I don't know what happened, but I didn't ask him.
Well, whatever. Hopefully, it's not something that stops him doing the V8s. I don't think anything will stop him doing the V8s this weekend coming.
No, that's his steed. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a good number of cars for V8 ESC, the Race Tech League for next. Is it Saturday night? Before
next
I get that
Saturday,
wrong.
yeah,
right.
Next
Okay.
Saturday, yep.
That'll be an absolute blast. That we've got 31 cars now, or something like that. Hopefully, they all turn up for the first race.
That's what I heard. I'm signed up for that, but I'm not showing up for the first race. I'm going to do selected races.
All right, okay.
The ones that I can really get in the way and ruin some people's race.
Yeah.
Somebody's race. Whoa, Tyler,
somewhere nice and tight, like Mid-Ohio. That'll do it.
Oh God.
Can you imagine? Rolling roadblock. Well, it's good fun round Mid-Ohio, though, the V8, isn't it?
Yeah.
These things are crackers round Mid-Ohio. I've been around there in a P2. These are bonkers cars around that track.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've worked there a lot too.
Oh yeah, because you have family in both locations, don't you?
No, I don't have family there. I have my sounds stuck up, but Kathy and I have a home up there as well, and we usually go up there in the summertime to get away from the Florida heat. I would stay here all the time, but Kathy wants to get out of here. But anyway, we ended up there because I worked there with a racing company for a couple years in their championship, and then I got hired by Mid-Ohio to be a marshal. They call them corner workers, safety workers there. So I did that for 3 or 4 years. So it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now go on.
This one?
No.
You're talking about here, Clyde?
Yeah, I think it's out of the hairpin.
It's on the 90 at the end of what did you call that? After you go through, let's say 2, 3, 4. It's down off turn 7 actually.
Cunningham.
It's a sharp right hand corner, and then you go through that little mini chicane.
Yeah,
it's right in there. It's right in there.
Sorry, we're chatting to Clyde, trying to locate where the curb cam is on the track. So
because if you look right across, the Chateau Elan is right. It's right in the camera there, which is across from that. Nope, not there.
Oh, is that Tower then?
Yep, that is.
Tower. That's Tower turn, Clyde.
That's the corner you like.
Yeah, I love that turn.
No, what the heck do they call that turn?
Yeah, sorry, Marco. He's busy chatting to us about technical things, and you can't hear him. But we'll sort ourselves out because that was the end of qualifying, or it will be in a second. There are no cars out on track at the moment. Everybody's bailed on it. And probably preparing for their race setups. We'll go through the starting grid once the session goes official. Ben is starting from pit lane to avoid any chaos and saves the pace lap for the fuel. Wes Van Dijk's busy asking people if they got a decent setup. He's top of the timing screens. I think that's a wind up. So, just looking at the track temperature again, 22 degrees. It's not gone up much, but we're not out of this session yet. We'll have to see what the actual race time in sim is when we start, and therefore the temperature that comes from it.
Did you see Tyler's message, Pete?
Oh, no. What was that?
I don't want to say it. Let you read it.
All right, I'll have a read.
Nah, it's okay. I'll figure out another way to do it. That's okay. You know what I'll do? I'll be a little bit behind, but I'll watch the broadcast. That should have it.
So yeah, I'll try not to give away BSTV's tactical secrets from now on. I think I upset Mr. Newitt, but never mind.
Yeah, we're on the cutting edge here at BSTV Racing Division.
Absolutely, nothing like professionalism here. And I've just turned around in my man cave chair, and it's absolutely snowing like you wouldn't believe.
Snowing?
Yeah, bonkers weather in the UK at the minute.
Well, I was gonna warn you. I have a wicked thunderstorm going on here. It's gonna be all afternoon. I mean, it's a boomer. It's like, what do you call it? Thor's hammer or whatever. God, it's unreal.
Well, hopefully these guys won't get it right. It looks like we're gridding up now, or not gridding up, but setting up ready for the rolling start. So,
hey, whoa, okay.
We should be seeing the starting grid. So I'll run through the first page, Bill. There's not much on the second page, I don't think. But your poleman for today will be Wes Van Dijk. It's not for Team Bushfink. It's for Bend Carbon, because they changed their name. Set off second will be Antoine Blankers, also for Bend Carbon. And then Chris Shaw is in third for BSTV Esports Yellow. Hans Blankart for Stage 1 Racing Seniors goes off fourth. Kevin De Winter for Stage 1 Racing Juniors goes off fifth. For Greenleaf Racing, Marnix Dewitt goes off in sixth. Seventh will be Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports Green, alongside his teammate Sam Bouzan for BSTV Esports Green as well. Ninth will be Kevin DeVale for Stage 1 Racing Juniors. Artie Boschart will go off 10th for Stage 1 Racing. Manuel Winnants will go off 11th for Stage 1 Racing Seniors. I might as well do the whole lot. Alexander Roggenbuck will go off 12th. Ben Cullen will go off 13th for BSTV Esports Yellow. And Dion Neuveld for Stage 1 Racing will go off 14th. Bill Switzer, the most handsome man in the starting lineup, will not
God
race.
help.
So they are formed up. You get a full pace lap out here at Sebring.
So if you need to meet your physiological necessities, or if you want to take a yawner, now's the time to do it.
Did you ever find out what we were fuel limited to, Clyde? So feedback is 3/4 of a tank. Means they are, in theory, forced to do a pit stop. These cars do about 40 minutes on a full tank, so we're probably looking at about 30 minutes, Bill. Is that
Wow,
Wes Van
okay.
Dijk driving inside the pace car? I love it when people do that in officials. It's hilarious.
Stealth.
Yeah. Oh, it was Antoine doing that. Now Wes is having a go. Yeah, let's see if we can see the driver. Yeah, there he is. Oh, that's hilarious. So yeah, we'll make our way through. This is the turn that I always mess up the most. This one here. I don't know whether it's got a name. I don't think it does. It's the one before Big Bend.
It's
Which...
oh shite or something like that, isn't
yeah, yeah. I usually put a tire off on the right hand side and then over rotate and spear off onto the left hand side. I've never yet hit the bridge there, which a lot of people do. So we're touring down the straight that leads to the hairpin. It's a lovely shot of the hotel.
Yeah, it used to be the Chateau Elan. Now it's some kind of Sheridan or something. I don't know what some chain took it over. Used to be really
Is at the hairpin, right?
Used to be really luxurious. You know, some people would rent those rooms along the speedway, especially during the 12-hour. They get big bucks for those. Let me tell you.
I bet they did. Yeah, along with the caviar that they ate. So into Cunningham they go. We saw that was a first gear corner in this car on that Wes Van Dijk lap that we did. Just in response to Kaz, I don't remember what sleep is. I don't remember the last time I had any. We just go from one broadcast to the next. Constant streaming, constant. We're hardcore, aren't we, Bill?
Right. How'd you do, Kaz? Did you get to sleep after your adventure out there yesterday?
While Kaz is formulating his response, we will head down here towards Le Mans turn. Now, don't be distressed when they go wide over the white line there. While purists like Clyde don't like people going over the white lines, that is actually what they do in real life as well. And it's a good job that you can't hear Clyde at the moment because the language is of an adult selection.
I think the people in Finland could have heard that remark without any kind of broadcast.
So we're heading towards sunset, even though we are at 8:22 in the morning sim time. So it's going to be quite cool when they start, and it'll get hotter as they go, but not too much. It's only 90 minutes. The pace car will peel off just after the bridge here, and these guys will get formed up.
It shouldn't be called Sunset. It should be called Damnation Alley through there.
And he's gone. Well, they're both gone. They were talking. They must have been. They've gone line astern already, which suggests that they know what they're doing.
This is a real tough corner right here, turn one. Usually somebody goes off.
There's a variety of blinds being used, Bill.
There's one off, yep.
So, so far... Ooh,
who is that? Is that Chris Shaw trying to get by there?
Yes, it was, and he was... he nearly got it done.
Yeah, and the other guy, whoever that is, snuck in front of him there. Too bad.
But the other guy got a lot of wheel spin coming out onto Big Bend. This will be an interesting shot on this lap. Is out of the hairpin on the curb here. There goes Antoine. Ooh, that's a crash. That was a car underneath Chris Shaw.
Whoa, who went over the top? What was that?
I don't know, but that's a unique way through there.
Wow. Well, that was very interesting. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. That is Antoine Blancas. That's last time out's winner. So Wes Van Dijk's got himself a handy 3-second lead now after all that goings on. Okay,
Dion Neuveld is the guy that the gentleman that was involved in the crash there.
Well, I think he's going to go wide at turn one. Oh, I didn't see that.
Wow.
That was getting your braking point way wrong and not even reacting to the car that's in front of you. So we also need to see what happened to Chris Shaw. And here we go.
I think
Dude, what are you doing?
So we're piling into the hairpin here. And he has... Ooh.
He got hit behind, but he's still going.
Oh, there's lots going on there.
Wow.
So he got tagged from behind at
My
first.
goodness.
That turned him into the back of Chris Shaw's car. And then, of course, Antoine was sideways in the track and people were piling over the top of his car. So yeah, less than an ideal start for Antoine Blancas.
Chris Shaw's in second, moving up. Who's that coming on the inside? Oh, this is a replay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it was the car that's currently
goodness.
I think it might have been either Kevin DeWinter or Kevin DeVale. I get my Kevins mixed up. There's a few cars already in pit lane, as you'd probably expect after one of them started mating with another car a minute ago.
Really? On a broadcast, no less. Oh, my goodness. There's a hotel right down the street.
Yeah, they do get a fast repair in this series, don't they? So
I'm not sure. Probably.
yeah, I'll just quickly check the rules. Yes, they get one fast repair, so those cars will be using that. It won't benefit them at all at the moment because they're not in a pit window, so they've got a lot of racing to do. Antoine Blancas has left the session.
Yeah, he made some kind of comment. He wasn't real happy.
No,
I didn't catch it. Went across the screen too fast. I couldn't read it, but
I think it says something along the lines of "nice dive bomb." And as Gary points out, it wouldn't be a Sebring race if we didn't have a pile up in the hairpin on lap 1. So yeah, Wes van Dijk's now got a 6-second lead after all of that. Kevin De Winter is nothing ahead of Chris Shaw, who is nothing ahead of Kevin DeVale, and nothing ahead of Hans Blancart. We'll have to see if we can figure out who the other cars were that were involved in all of that. I guess the standings on here.
I'm not sure one of our guys was involved in that or not. I don't believe they were, other than Chris Shaw getting popped and up in the air. He's right there in second place, I believe.
Yeah, I think the others just got delayed, as it were. Ben Cullen's moved forward more than just the people that were in the accident. He's so Tyler managed to squeeze through, did he?
Yeah, he's on the right side there. I see him.
All right. And then a different view further back, this looks like. Sambuzen stepping onto the inside there, and he's made his way carefully round. Yeah, Tyler had cars landing on top of his, and he got into the back of another car. So
Sam got through as well, looks like.
Yeah, they're together on track at the moment. This is a close battle here, though, with Chris Shaw. Kevin De Winter seems to be pulling away from Chris. I don't know whether Chris has got damage. It's hard to tell on these cars. I mean, he did get tagged, didn't he? He got away, but he did get some left rear damage.
Yeah, the back end of his car was about 3 feet in the air, so
yeah, that's not going to help.
Getting damage is pretty good.
Okay.
Whoa! What the heck?
You're gonna have to commentate that one. Mine's strobing.
Well, I know we're having a little battle under. See, I have no idea. I have no listing, Pete, on my screen anywhere.
No, it's all right.
Look.
We're straight on there.
He just escaped.
Yeah, he's reset his car. It's an unusual tactic for that. So yeah, lots of goings on at the minute. Side by side here, Chris Shaw with Kevin DeVale. He was overtaken towards the end of the last lap. And now wants his position back. Right on his tail is Hans Blancart for Stage 1 Racing Seniors.
Okay, that's who that is. Okay.
And this should all concertina up when we get onto Ullman Straight in a second. And maybe they'll sort each other out. Heading again towards Le Mans. I like this S's section. Le Mans is one of those corners that is feels great when you do it right, but it's just death when you get it wrong.
It's so easy to go off there on the outside. And like you
Yeah.
said, if you do usually do a spear into the inside wall. Through Damnation Alley onto the front straightaway.
And Kevin Neuveld got a bit of a gap here now.
And Hans is looking inside.
This is looking, yeah, he is, and he might get this done because he's on the right side of Chris. Oh no,
Boy, that was
just,
a good
dropped
attempt.
behind.
Look, he's looking again.
Yeah,
He's letting Chris Shaw know he's there.
definitely. And this is going to be a good result for Stage 1 Racing Juniors if they can get this all hooked up, because they are currently in second and third with Kevin DeWinter and Kevin DeVale.
Right.
I think they should change their name to Team KW or KDW, seeing as they have the same initials.
And we're on board with Hans Blankarts. We're behind Chris Shaw.
We are.
And we're going up. What's this called, Pete? I don't know.
Into Cunningham here.
Cunningham, that's right, Cunningham.
And then Colliers.
Briggs will never forgive me.
And then Tower Turn.
Pete Bingham turn.
Yeah.
Now the S's you mentioned up here, they are really neat, but you know, it's not a true S. It's one's tighter than the other. It's a little.
Yep.
You can really get lulled in and make a mistake there real easily.
I have done many times. Clyde, have you got the? Oh yeah, you got the timings on the screen. Have you got the IDs at the bottom so we know who we're on with?
Yeah.
We have a request from Kaz Brinkhausen. Ooh,
Oh.
and that was Chris Shaw peeling off for the pits. So
Hope you don't know that.
this is
Good
very,
game.
very early. So he must be deciding that he's got more damage than he's happy with.
That could be.
And he has got a fast repair still, so hopefully he can use one of his scheduled stops this time round. Maybe he's waiting for that window to open for him.
It could be. And of course, we hope it's not a floorboard damage, because we found out last night that you can't fix it.
Yep.
The underpinnings cannot be fixed. Marshall, that's a neat. As a marshal, that's a neat corner to work right there.
I'd found the button that shows our timings now.
There's a on the stream. We got battle for second down in the right-hand corner, and then of course we got a schematic of the map with the layout of where everybody is. The little bubbles that go around.
Yeah, you can kind of see the people that got caught up in it, can't you? They're a ways back from the kind of three groups that we've got going on at the moment. What's Dion doing? This is Dion Neuveld. Oh, he's in Le Mans. Is this going to be on the grass? No, just a rotation. Lots of smoke. Very hot tyres. Is he going to be able to spin it round? Oh, that's a long way around, Dion.
It won't turn because the grass is slippery.
Yeah, and these cars, they're not the most agile when they're not travelling quick. They're a bit of a bus when you're trying to do this.
And I'll tell you, your field of view isn't the greatest either.
No, it's a proper little letterbox, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Back with Hans Blankart at the moment. He's trying to chase down the two Stage 1 Racing Juniors guys. This is a Stage 1 Racing Seniors car.
Yeah, Hans, old guys rule. Go get him, buddy.
And Wes van Dijk now has himself a 9-second lead.
Wow.
There he is, making it look relatively easy at the moment. His teammate Antoine Blanca's winner last time out got tagged at the hairpin, of course, and is no longer in the session.
He's left the building. I think he was a little bit frustrated with the goings on at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, I mean, Gary's right that particular turn and on lap 1 is synonymous with crashes.
But as I'm sure Gary will agree, when you're involved in it, it doesn't make you very happy.
Not at all. So a little bit spread out at the moment.
That's Chris Shaw back on track, I believe.
It is, yeah. He's currently running 10th place. I'm assuming that there is a couple of pit stops, one of which will be a shorter stop, and he's possibly used his shorter stop in order to accommodate the fast repair that he needed to do after the incident. So maybe it will all pan out for him by the end, and let's hope it does.
He may be getting out of sequence to run a different sequence than everybody else is doing, which isn't always a bad idea.
No, and if we've got half an hour's fuel on board, with a bit of fuel saving, potentially it's going to be a 2-stop race.
Yep.
And let's see what his timings turn out like after his pit stop. Bearing in mind that Wes Van Dijk did a 1:45.61 last time round. I think that was Chris Shaw's fastest lap of the race because it's the only lap he's done without any damage. And that was a 1:46.79. There's a few fastest laps going in at the moment. Artie Boschart has done one for 1:47.24. And Tyler Newitt's just done his fastest of the race, 1:46.63. But we know that Tyler's probably got front end damage because he ended up bumping into somebody who was stationary in front of him in that hairpin incident. That was Chris passing. I can't remember who that is now. That's where Alexander Roggenbuchs ended up. So he's been put down a position.
Yeah, he's in 10th place.
As Chris goes blasting through.
And let's see. Behind Hans Blankart in 4th place is Stan Boozen. He's in 5th place. And then Boschart.
Boschart after that, yeah.
Yep, he's in 6th. And Tyler Newitt is in 7th. Ben Cullen in 8th. Chris Shaw's going to try to catch up to them, I guess. That's his next cars.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a gap, though, obviously, because he's been in the pits.
Yeah, sure.
So he's got 15 seconds to catch, or 15 seconds of road in order to catch Ben Cullen.
He's got clear air, which is kind of nice, but he doesn't have any kind of draft, so that kind of, it's a plus and a minus at the same time.
Yeah. You kind of do want the draft on the straights, but not in the turns, don't you, with these cars? So
yeah. And we got Kevin DeWale on screen, number 72, Stage 1 Racing Juniors. He's currently in 3rd place. And his kind of teamy Hans Blankart is in 4th, about 1.7 seconds behind him, but he's Stage 1 Racing Seniors.
Yeah, the juniors are in the red-nosed cars. The seniors are in the yellow-nosed cars.
Yep.
And exactly what I said about Kevin De Winter. Bearing in mind he's probably got an advantage from what happened in the hairpin. He's not slow. He's doing a 1:46.37. There's only a couple of people doing better than that at the moment. One of which is the race leader, who's still doing 1:45s. So he's still doing 0.8 of a second better than anybody else in the race so far.
Wonder if his great uncle Dick Van Dyke's watching today. What do you think, Pete?
Maybe not Dick, but Barry, Dick's son, might be. We could do the whole family, couldn't we? A good camera shot.
I love that shot.
do you think that Kevin DeVale is getting caught by Hans Blankart now?
Yeah, he looks a little closer, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's not much each lap, but he's certainly chipping away a couple of tenths here and there.
Down to 1.3 right now, it says. It looks closer than that, though, but maybe not. I'm going to call that the Pete Bingham turn from now on. I like that. Bingham!
Can you imagine? There'd be some effigy of piled up car bits at that corner if it was named after me. So Hans Blankart just took out about half a second from Kevin DeVale, just in one corner there. He did Le Mans so much better.
Yeah, he's under a second now. Behind him. You can see him. There he is. We're looking from the back of Kevin DeWale's car.
Into turn one. Lots of strain on front and back tyres for that corner. It's another one that I do 1,000 different lines through on 1,000 separate laps.
You know,
Okay.
you go in there and the pavement is so wide, it's really hard to tell exactly what to do. But when you find out you go off into the dirt at 120 miles an hour, you realize you did it wrong.
Yeah, a bit late by then, though, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Gary told me of something to watch out for. So there's a bit of wall on the right-hand side, just as you used to tuck into it. But finding the apex on turn one, because it's such a broad corner, I struggled massively. And there's a cone, a
Yes.
traffic cone, up on the fence.
Yeah, it stuck through the fence. That's supposed to be the center of the turn apex.
It is, yeah, and that helped me immensely. You don't look up, do you? Generally, you're looking at other points on the track as opposed to up in the air. This is a good shot on the front.
It is,
splitter.
yeah. Haven't been to Sebring many times. They love cones here.
Right. Is that a feature? Is it of
Oh my God!
Sebring?
They're all over the darn parking lot. The entry pits. They're all over the place.
So yeah, again, same corner. Hans Blankart takes a massive amount of time out of Kevin DeVale.
Well, he really
Doesn't
climbed up
quite-
on him. Wow.
Yeah, his exit wasn't terribly
Dang,
good.
a little too quick. Yeah.
Let's see if we can find that traffic cone that Gary was talking about.
A quarter? Yeah. Yep. It's there.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Bit blurred on that speed, but I got it.
If you notice on turn one, the exit of turn one, on the other side of the dirt, there's a cone out there too. I don't know what the heck that's for. It must be to aim at or something.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. We got a little busy street here now.
Yeah, this is where everybody is. So that is Tyler Newitt and Sam Boozan. I don't know whether they've got... so that's Artie Boschart with Tyler Newitt behind him and then Sam Boozan behind him. I think the car in the distance is a lapped vehicle. We're back here. Oh,
Tyler's looking.
yeah, the car in the distance there was Dion Neuveld, who's a lap down on these guys now. Tyler was looking. That was a solid attempt, but didn't manage to do anything with it.
Tough place to pass there.
Probably just letting him know he's there more than
Yeah,
anything.
of course. Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh,
they,
man.
they both nearly went, because Tyler even went wide. I think he was a bit, what do you call it? Distracted.
Anxious.
Yeah. Over-focused on the car in front. So car in front went wide, over-rotated on the dirt, and Tyler went out wide and didn't. So that promotes both of those up to 5th and 6th. Artie Boschart spinning, and yeah, that's quite a heavy impact, to be fair. These cars aren't made of much, not much more than tinfoil. They do repair amazingly quickly.
Well, kind of like an Indy car, or an Indy car is kind of like them. The nose piece is replaceable, and the tail end and stuff is like one big unit that they put on there if there's any kind of damage. Now, that's sheet metal only, though, of course. But
Yeah. And this is Hans Blankart and Manuel Winnan. No, it's not. Yeah, Hans Kevin Doyle.
this is getting tasty.
It is. He's closed right up on him already, and is as close as he's been. Whoa! And locked up into Cunningham, which will drop him back a little ways again.
He's getting really anxious. He's charging the corners.
Well, there's clearly no team orders here, is there?
Yeah.
These guys are definitely fighting it out.
He wants to show them kids, the juniors, that he can still drive.
Yeah. I think he is the team boss, isn't he?
Oh, well. I'd let him by. In my situation, he'd pass me anyway. Wouldn't that be a problem?
He's drawing him in, steadily going down Ullman Straight. And he seems to be very good on the entry to Sunset and less good at the exit. Although that was pretty equal, to be honest. Often it's an easier task to follow because you are reacting to the brake lights ahead of you and the turning points ahead of you. Leading is... It also involves checking your mirrors, doesn't it? Which is distracting.
Yeah, mirror driving can knock you off track.
Cruising down into the hairpin here. In front of the hotel again. Him now. 3/4 of a second. Wes Van Dijk's just done the fastest lap of the race. An eye-watering 1:44.95.
Wow.
That is literally an entire second faster than anybody else on track. So whilst Antoine Blancas isn't in the session, Ben Carbon Racing are still going to get a handy amount of points for the team championship.
Yeah, well, it looks that way.
Of course, it does all depend on strategy and eventually passing slower cars. So Tyler's got about 16 seconds worth of fresh air in front of him before he gets to Hans Blankart. Sam Buzan seems to be holding position behind Tyler and making no moves to overtake. These two are the closest two on track, and it keeps ebbing and flowing, doesn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it really does. It's almost like he's kind of backed off a little bit, and he's kind of holding his position for some reason. I don't know. I mean, we've seen him make some moves, but maybe, I don't know, could pit stop time be coming up or something? I don't know.
Pit stop time it should be around about now-ish on 75%, I would think.
Yeah, maybe maybe he's got something else planned. Really hard to tell. I didn't bring the crystal ball with me, and I'm not really good at figuring out what mileage and stuff, but... Of course, when you're charging hard like he was, you can eat up your tires. Maybe he's just backing off a little bit. Somebody's just came down pit lane.
Yeah, I was saying that this might be about the right time.
Roderick?
Alexander Roggenbuck, that is.
Roggenbuck, yeah, okay.
So I think we'll see a few cars dropping into pit road on this and the next lap. I think it's about 15 laps. There we go. So there's Wes Van Dijk. Leaders in.
Yep, the leader's in.
Now then, I don't think there'll be any tyres taken. There may be on the second one, but no, Alex Roggenbuck's car's just popped up, so he's getting tyres.
Kevin DeWinter's in the pit.
Second place, and third, and fourth. So pit road, a busy place to be right now.
All about the same strategy at this point.
I use the word busy in its loosest term when you've got 14 cars. So away goes. Oh, here we go. No, the leader didn't. Oh, somebody's just left pit lane and stopped. Oh, he's letting everybody go. Right, okay. So Wes Van Dijk continues on the same tyres he pitted on. Tyler Newitt assumes the provisional lead or temporary lead of the race.
And here they come, as a matter of fact, down the front straightaway.
Yeah, this is Alex Roggenbuck coming out of pit lane. Stops to the side of the road to keep out of everybody's way. Lets the leader go, and then he's back on it again. Yeah, it's a helpful thing to do, isn't it, Bill? Because you're not then interfering in race somebody else's race, as it were.
That's right. It's respectful, and when he's got a better day and the other guy doesn't, he'll remember that.
Yeah. Get your cameras out because we've got BST filling the podium.
We got a Polaroid moment.
The Rotomax 125 says, "Is this where Tyler does an extra 5 laps?" I do know who that is, but I should know who that is because I ask it every single race, and I'm now waiting for Clyde to tell me, and he's not going to tell me. Oh, it's Rob. Why can't people just call themselves by their normal names?
Because they want you to say, I can't remember who that is.
Yeah, exactly, Bill, yeah. Keep them guessing.
That's right.
So, so Tyler and Sam both went round again. And Ben. Wes is now on to the BSTV car of Ben Cullen. Be interesting to see, because this is for position, albeit out of sequence in pit stops.
Now,
but it'll be interesting to see what Ben does here.
Chris Shaw got out ahead of Kevin DeWinter, didn't he? Kevin DeWinter.
He didn't get out. He's already done that pit stop to repair the damage earlier on.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That's right. Forgot about that.
So he's technically back in sequence now because he had a quick repair, which wouldn't have delayed him at all in the pit lane for that. He's now 8 seconds behind our leader, which is Wes Van Dijk. So hopefully for Chris at least, his fast repair stop won't disadvantage him when it comes to the end of the race. Different lines there into Tower, or the turn before Tower, from Wes Van Dijk and Ben. Wes is having a look. Kevin's giving him room.
Kevin DeWinter's really working him over right now. You're going to get him too. Yep. I think Chris kind of backed out a little bit, to be honest.
No, that was Ben.
Huh?
That was Ben with Wes Van Dijk overtaking him. Here we go. So here's BSTV green in formation. And Ben Cullen dropping it into pit road, which leaves Wes Van Dijk out in front again by a massive margin.
I'm sorry. That's right. Ben Cullen is yellow, isn't he? I forgot about that.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Chris Shaw has moved into second place at the moment.
He has.
Behind Wes Van Dijk, which is excellent.
Again, it all depends on the pit strategy that's used, I think.
Definitely.
Is there anybody else that's not yet pitted at all? So everybody has now been in, according to the race director. I don't think, along with Antoine Blancas, I don't think Marnix is racing anymore because I don't think he's in the session. His timing isn't going up, so he's gone.
Marnix Dewitt shows that he's out, I believe.
Yeah, he's gone. So the BSTV Green boys stay line astern in the same order they were before, and have a 17-second gap in front of them. That does suggest, Bill, that there's fuel saving going on for a purpose, yeah?
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I just had kind of a thing flash across the screen. It said Manuel Wynotts was out, but I show him in the pit. He had a slow time, but it shows he's back underway again. You show anything happen to him or anything? I'm wondering why the heck it showed he was out. Okay, yep, he's on screen now. He just went through the little chicane there. So I guess he's underway. He's currently running in 10th place.
Yeah, not shabby. I mean, I know there's only 14 cars started, but a top 10's good either way, isn't it?
He's better than 3 so far, or 2. Better than me. I entered, but I didn't race, so he beats me too.
So now we've got the pit stops done. We'll make our way down the field. So on the screen is your race leader at the moment for Ben Carbon Racing, which is Wes Van Dyke. He's got a 10-second lead over Chris Shaw, who's in the BSTV yellow car. Technically, I think back on the right pit rotation now, because I think there's his next one will give him enough fuel to get to the end, but we'll see what happens with him. He may need a splash and dash at some point. Third, and 10 seconds back again, is Kevin De Winter for Stage 1 Racing Juniors. He's 8 seconds ahead of his teammate, Kevin DeVale. And only 1.6 seconds behind him is Hans Blankart, which is Stage 1 Racing Seniors car. And he was a lot closer than that before the pits, so I don't know whether there was some alternative strategy or maybe the pit entry, exit, and travel time down pit lane was different for these two. And we may be getting a replay here. So he was nearer, and this is why he's taken the countryside route through turn 3. That'll just about do it, won't it, Bill? Because even when you're not on the tarmac, you're still losing time.
Yeah, really, really easy. Well, he was smart to do that. That way the thing didn't spin around on him and delay him more. So that was a good move. Actually.
No, yeah, you're right, actually. And then he's got a 17-second lead over Tyler Newitt, and you can see the gap back to Sam Buzan. That's both of the BSTV Esport Green cars. Then we've got 6 seconds of fresh air before Ben Cullen shows his face there. Is he going to flash his lights? We'll not know now because the camera's behind the car, but when it gets around to the front,
no, he's not talking to us.
No, he's being ignorant as usual. And then 5.5 seconds back from Ben is Artie Boschart for Stage 1 Racing. And then again, further back, nearly 30 seconds, is Manuel Winnants for Stage 1 Racing Seniors. And he's got a 35-second lead over Dion Neuveld for Stage 1 Racing, who has not much in hand over Alexander Roggenbuck, who drives for himself. He's a privateer. And that is all running cars left in the race after our shenanigans on lap 1. So Hans is reeling in Kevin DeVale again. Ooh. And Chris Shaw's in pit lane again.
Goodness.
So, how many laps did he do?
Behind him too. Who's that coming in?
So what lap
is
he on now?
Alexander Roggenbach? Is that his car?
Dion Neuveld, that, Bill. So, I'm just trying to have a look here. His last pit was... Oh, it doesn't tell me now. It just says pit on it, doesn't it? Maybe I can see it in here. I'm trying to find out when he last pitted. Because I don't think this is necessarily in the schedule that you'd want. He's going to have to pit again either way. Because we're 42 minutes in to a 90-minute race. So
This stop
sorry,
doesn't seem
43.
like it's going to help, does it?
No. Hopefully he's got some sort of tactic which will keep him in a competitive position. He's back out on track now. And he's come out. Is he right behind his teammate? Yeah, he's right behind Ben Cullen. So maybe there's some tactic in that somehow. I don't really know. We'll have to see how it pans out. He's clearly like way out of sequence, though, isn't he, Bill?
Yes, he is. I'm just wondering, Pete, from his accident, maybe it's something similar to what happened to the Simsaw team last night. Remember, the wheel was all cocked because the back end got back around or something? Because he got popped in the back, don't forget, first lap in the chicane or in the 90-degree turn there.
Yeah, so, Mr. Cameraman, can we go on board with Chris Shaw and just see if his wheel is facing in a straight line? Looks okay to me.
Yeah, it does so far.
Doesn't show if there's any other issues.
He gets on home and let's see what it's like.
This is the cameraman's just said he would have had a fast repair. So it should have fixed everything on the car. So there won't be anything like that at the minute.
And now, didn't we? Oh, wait a minute. They didn't have fast repairs, did they, last night?
No, in the 12-hour, they were just sat for their standard repair time, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it does look okay, doesn't it?
Yep. I don't know whether these two are going to race it out or not. Ben's certainly not making any moves to pull over at the moment.
As he shouldn't, really. A little wide that time, Ben.
Yeah, better line from Chris through there. Just stayed off the gas a little longer.
Looks like he's giving him room. Yep, sure is.
That's definitely a let go.
That was nice. Code 21.
Yeah. And he's just said in the chat there, three stop race for some. So I don't think he's that bothered about letting Chris through because he knows that he's already disadvantaged, having to do another pit stop. Maybe Ben can use Chris's toe, depending on how much fuel saving is actually going on at the moment.
I was wondering too, why maybe he let him go by so he could get better mileage.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know that there's. Who is that going slow? That's a very generous amount of space to give from Alexander Roggenbuck there for Hans Blankart and Kevin DeVale. He's kind of stopped catching him.
Yeah, he has.
He's not dropping back from him, but he's just not getting any nearer.
No, they've reached that stage that all of a sudden they're both the same, basically.
Yeah. It's a wide line from Kevin DeVale through that. Doesn't hand too great an advantage across to Hans Blankart, though. And in the lead by 23 seconds at the minute is Wes Van Dijk somewhere. There he is. It's a bit lonely. Nobody in front, nobody behind.
He's probably wondering where everybody went.
Maybe he thinks that he has disconnected. I've done that before. I've been racing around going,
oh, yep.
I'm sure there were cars on the track before.
Yeah, I had something like that happen one time. I had a bad server or something. I'm still out there, because I have everything muted. I'm running around and go, wow, doing great. Where the heck is everybody? They were all gone.
I think we've all done it at least once, if not more.
Talk about feeling like an idiot. Yeah.
Ben's just said on the chat that the BSTV team, apart from Chris, are on target for 2 stops. So there must be a gamble on a 3. Or a splash and dash, I expect it is, right at the very end if you use too much fuel. So Wes Van Dijk, I think he's already got himself a pit splash and dash, hasn't he? With 23 seconds worth of time.
Yeah.
And this goes to what Johnny Brandon was saying, I think, for the race last time, actually, which is if you can absolutely nail it and cover a potential pit stop saving, so somebody else doing 2 and you only do 3, if you can stretch out a lead which covers it, then, just go fast. Use the fuel, race the car.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I know Tyler does like to do fuel saving strategies when he can. I don't. So someone like Gary prefers to. He's not in this, obviously, but he prefers to race, as in, go as fast as you can for as long as you can. He'll obviously fuel save if he has to, but he finds less enjoyment in it. Sorry, race director is trying and succeeding to make me laugh about a topic that we discussed last night, which was the Aston Martin Signet, which should never ever be mentioned again by a human being, because I didn't know it existed, and it's the most hideous vehicle I've seen in my life.
Tyler is almost like a student of this stuff. He really enjoys this, all that strategy and, all the little fine arts. And it's amazing how much he knows about the vehicles, too. Wow, it's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable on these things. I think his career has taken him in that vein as well.
Yeah. And I can tell he reads a lot of journals that relate to certain kinds of. I mean, he knew about all these overseas. Well, maybe you guys are more attuned because you're over that direction, but all these overseas, series in Asia and all these other places. Wow, I mean, I've heard of them, but I don't keep up on it.
No, do I, to be fair. I mean, it depends what you do with iRacing, doesn't it? Is this a oh dear. Wow. Dion, that's not going to rub out, mate.
He got over the curbing there, going into turn 3, and that's 4, I guess, and I lost it.
I think he's now trying to get feeling back in his arms.
Okay, we're on board. Is that? Nope, that's not on board.
It is on board. Wrong gear. Wow. Is that a hardware failure, do you think?
I don't know. Could be.
Just look at his wheel.
Yeah, why would you do that?
I think that's a hardware failure.
Yeah, probably right, Pete.
That just looked weird.
He did straight on over the curb into the tire wall.
That looked too unnatural, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it really did. You're right.
Yeah, we'll try and find out if Dion's about and he wants to get an interview and talk to us, then you're more than welcome.
Now, if it was you and me, that would definitely be a thing. It may not necessarily be a hardware problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, for me, definitely.
Me too.
I just think I was on a different turn and decided to turn right instead of left or something. But yeah, that was crazy. What were we talking about? I don't even remember now.
We were talking about fuel saving.
Oh yeah. So I like motorsport, and I'm very interested in racing, but I'm not like up to my eyeballs in the information of it, as you can probably tell from my performances and my lack of knowledge. But other things appeal to me in life, and it's just each to their own, isn't it?
Absolutely.
If you want to be absorbed in that, then that's fine.
I was really surprised that you didn't know about an Aston Martin Signet, though. I mean, being from the UK and everything.
I think when I type the words Aston Martin into a Google search, that is not going to be the first returned result, is it? Because nobody needs to know about that vehicle. You want to know about a Vantage or something like that.
Or something. Yeah, exactly.
Something with or even a like DB6 or a DB5. Nobody needs to know about that thing. That that infection which has made its way into the Aston Martin stable. It's just
Oh goodness, that's funny.
vile. I mean, if someone gave me one, I would accept it, but the very next morning I would be selling it to the unsuspecting fool who bought it off me.
Yeah, you'd be peddling it. Yeah, exactly.
Clyde, it is not the best car ever, no matter how many times you write it in the chat.
Would you rather have that or a Robin Reliant?
I find that I think the Robin Reliant is one of the funniest vehicles ever created in the world. I don't understand why you would create a three-wheeled vehicle.
Especially, it's going to heel over on the front fender, I mean, yeah.
And there are racing leagues for those, Or there used to be. There's probably none left now because obviously they don't make them anymore, so they run out of parts probably. But they used to race them, and it was one of the funniest things you've ever seen. It was. Sorry, are you trying to get through, Clyde? Is that all it was? Are you speaking to the world now, or are you speaking in private? All right, okay. So Clyde's shared the knowledge that it was because you could drive it on a motorbike license because it only had 3 wheels, not 4. And it was a get around in the UK. Oh yes, it was a Robin Reliant. So Reliant was the manufacturer, and the Robin was the model.
Well, that's the same thing. I don't know if you're familiar with a vehicle from Germany called a Messerschmitt. It looked like a motorcycle with it was all enclosed. And of course, people that have to ride a motorbike that don't have the luxury of owning a car, you're out of the weather if you have that kind of covering. So it's got that advantage, and who cares what it looks like at that point.
I think Messerschmitt made the bubble car, didn't they?
Well, it's actually a motorbike, but it's covered. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like a bubble.
Yeah. They also made the was it the 109E?
ME 109.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, ME 109.
Made a lot Willy Messerschmitt.
Yeah, that's the one. Clyde's now talking about the Reliant Bond bug, but I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna have to Google that now. Let me see what that looks like. If anything like adult pops up when I type this in, you're in for it. Reliant. What did you say it was called again? Bond bug. Let's have a look. Oh, I do remember those things. They were crazy. That's going to be the same principle then, isn't it? That just looks like death, doesn't it? If you crashed one of them, that's all you'd ever do because your legs would be broken. You'd be just dead. Has that got a petrol engine in it? Oh, that is just hideous. But yeah, I do remember that vehicle. Now,
I'll tell you one vehicle you'd die in if you got hit would be a Izetta.
Izetta.
Yeah, take a look at one of those.
How do you spell that then?
I think it's Isetta, I believe.
Oh, like a bubble car.
Yeah, the door opens in the front.
Yeah, there was somebody that my father knew owned one of them and had to climb out the sunroof when he parked it in his garage because he couldn't open the door. Because the door opened outwards in front of him. So he had to climb out the sunroof. I mean, amazing that they built a sunroof as an escape hatch,
Yeah, really. And that was powered by a BMW motorcycle engine.
Right. That doesn't sound like it's shabby then.
I think they had a 750 engine in them. I'll tell you, over here, people that don't have enough to do with their money, I mean, that have, too much money and know what to do with it, they buy these for big bucks, those things. I can't believe how much they get for them. Like
I bet if you had one of these things, even that Reliant Bond bug, then I bet you're a millionaire now because there can't be many of them that's not on a scrap pile somewhere. I do remember the Pacer, and I remember the Pacer because it features heavily in a film that I like called Wayne's World,
AMC Pacer. Oh,
Yeah.
uglier than whale poop, that thing. Oh, God. And an AMC Gremlin was another beauty.
AMC Gremlin. Now you're talking about cars that I don't know again. AMC Gremlin. See, that doesn't look bad. That's a nice looking car.
Are you out of your mind?
Of course I am. It's hideous. It looks like they've chopped the back off it for a start.
Honestly,
I don't know. These things become retro, don't they? There'll be a new model of it made next week, and then a whole load of people.
I'm gonna tell you one more. Then I suppose we ought to get back to racing. But look up a 1960 Plymouth.
I like Plymouth. I like the Barracuda that they did.
Now, 1960 Plymouth, full-size car. Take a look at that.
Not going. Oh, it's because I typed 1906. I wondered why I had somebody with a horse-drawn vehicle on the screen. That's weird. Why would you make massive wings like that?
Yeah, and another thing, do you see the taillights on it? They're kind of glued on the side. Looks like they forgot to put taillights. They got flashlights and glued them to the side.
Weird.
Oh, it was an ugly car.
It looks like something that would feature on the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh, my stream is kind of buffering. Darn it.
Ben Cullen, for some reason, has typed the words "Ben's in first" on the chat.
Okay, the lead. We've just been notified that the leader, Wes Van Dyke, is in the pits.
We're going to have to pause our regaling over hideous cars and focus on the race for once. I think Ben is just typing random stuff on the chat now to try and distract us. So Wes has been followed in by Kevin DeVale. So we've got some additional fuel saving going on from Kevin De Winter and Hans Blankart. Wes Van Dyke is now out of pit lane already. Kevin DeWale's in. Tyler Newitt assumes 4th place at the moment. Sam takes 5th place. And Chris Shaw takes 6th. Ben Cullen makes his way into 7th and Artie Boschart into 8th. Kevin DeWale seems to have been in there a while. Maybe he's getting tyres. I don't know. And then we've got Manuel Winans for Stage 1 Racing Seniors. Probably going to be going around again, potentially, but...
Kevin DeWale is back out.
Kevin DeWale in the pits. Does his car pop up? Tell you what's much more exciting when you do it quickly.
Look at that.
No tyres. Just a long stop. It seemed like a very long stop. Maybe he had some damage to repair or something. So I'll really see... Well, Kevin De Winter's just entered pit lane, I think. If I can believe my timing tower. Yep. So our temporary leader, at least for a couple of laps. Yeah, and he's being followed in by Hans Blankart. So I think we'll see a number of cars enter pit lane here, but I don't think we will see Tyler Newitt, Sam Buzan being one of them, or 2 of them rather.
You know, it almost appears, Pete, that Hans Blankart and oh God, yeah, Kevin De Winter are working together.
Yeah, it could well be that, Bill. So Tyler and Sam continue, as does Chris Shaw, who is catching Sam Boozon quite quickly, and obviously not fuel saving, as Sam probably is. Sam's dropped back from Tyler now, by some way, actually.
Yeah, he's okay.
No tyres for anybody in these stops, according to our race director.
We have Chris Shaw highlighted on the screen, closing in on another BSTV car, Sam Boozon.
Sam, yeah. I don't. Artie Bashart back on track after his service of the car. Chris Shaw really is reeling in Sam Boozon now. Sam's obviously on a very, very strict fuel saving strategy.
Yeah, probably the. I would say the just mentioned by the director that probably the remaining BSTV vehicles other than Chris Shaw will pit very soon together.
Whoa, that was a bit. There's keeping out the way, and then there's keeping out the way, probably on the preferable line. So,
is that Dion Neuveld?
Dion, yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to find out from Dion what actually happened. Maybe he can join in the chat later when he did his straight on.
Right. He had either a disconnect or something.
Yeah.
Hate when that happens. I mean, it's one thing to crash, but it's a little bit, well, it's part of the game, I guess, but it's just not right.
Yeah. Just what happens, isn't it? A freak thunderstorm and a disconnect and you crash, but we all suffer the same way. So Manuel Willance joining pit road for his service of the car.
Just out of curiosity, is still snowing at your place?
It's gone very dark now, so I can't really tell.
Oh, that's right. It's nighttime there. I forgot. Sorry. Never mind.
No, that's right. So Chris Shaw's definitely caught Sam Boozon now. I don't think there'll be any resistance here. They're on entirely different strategies. And Chris will have to stop again for some fuel.
He's probably going to get by him here on almonds shortly. The almond straight.
Yeah, it depends whether the Tyler and Sam are in this lap. In theory, they should be able to go one more if my maths are right, but my maths are invariably incorrect.
Chris Shaw has not gone by him. I wonder if he realizes they're going to pit, if they told him or something, maybe. Nope.
Sam's moved over, probably to let him go. No, trying to break the toe, maybe.
Yeah, I'll be darned. Thought he was letting him go, but maybe not.
I think he was, probably. It was just a dramatic gesture to let him know he was going to stay out of the way. So at the moment, Wes Van Dijk leads Tyler, who needs another stop, by 16 seconds. And then Chris Shaw, who also needs another stop, but later on is closing on Tyler, as you'd expect. And that's your gaps right there as they drive over our curb cam at the hairpin. There goes Dion. And there goes Ben Cullen. Don't know why I paused for so long then. Yeah. Clyde makes a good point in the background that in theory, these guys have got to do one more lap, unless they can stretch out even more in the final stint. But I think they'll probably have saved enough. Oh no, that's a pit lane entry there for Tyler Newitt, which would probably see Sam also pull into pit lane, yep. And then shortly will be Ben in about 8 seconds' time. There he is. Also into pit road. So let's see what these guys achieve. The theory being, I'm guessing, that Wes Van Dijk, Chris Shaw, Kevin De Winter, Kevin De Vale, and Hans Blankart all require another pit stop of some sort. Antoine's written in the chat, imagine having 20% of the grid DNF in a race. I think that's the average for official LMP2 races. And no different here. Obviously, we'd prefer not to, but sometimes that's just what happens. So, Wes Van Dijk on to Ullman Straight out of Le Mans. Still doing very fast laps. 146.32. Ooh, that was a wiggle, though. Lost a bit of the back end there on the bumps.
We're on board right now.
So we'll hopefully follow this all the way around. Took it into turn one there. That was very professional. Nice and close to the wall. Straighten your car up here for turn number 2. You might want to get a bit of the bumps on the left and the right there. Probably best avoided in a car that's so low slung. And then that looked effortless and excellent. That onto Big Bend.
He hit that 3 corner perfectly.
He really did, yeah. Lose all your speed to tuck in here, get a bit of the gravel on the right-hand side, possibly a bit on the left, and then fire yourself through here and towards Cunningham Corner. Again, get rid of all that speed. This is actually quite a slow corner.
Yeah, I can really.
Yeah, and then hold the inside there. The car wants to wash out all the time. And then this one, it wants to over-rotate like a crazy thing. So you got to balance out that over-rotation. Usually using the gas rather than the steering. Through here towards Le Mans. Quite a lot of curb here. And then, again, drop your speed off, but maintain as much momentum as you can. Fire yourself down Ullman Straight. And a bit of a lonely race for Wes Van Dijk. Into Sunset. Manage the bumps again. Get as close to the inside wall as you can get. Once you start washing out there, you continue to wash out, don't you, Bill?
Yeah, I sure do.
And then over the start-finish straight again.
I'll tell you, that was an excellent lap by Wes Van Dijk.
It was. That was a 146.58. He is slower than Chris Shaw at the moment. But that was Hans Blankart.
Yeah,
taking the scenic route, doing a bit of gardening on his.
He went off there before, and he was very smart not to gun it too much. He kept it straight and got it back on. Lost as little time as possible.
Yep. I always find it very difficult in any car to control them once I'm off track in iRacing.
Yeah, me too. I have trouble on track, let alone off track. Now, another thing about Wes Van Dijk's lap, he used all the road perfectly. I mean, right out to the very edge without dropping off. He did a great job.
Yeah, I was driving this car yesterday, obviously. Not on this track, but he'll be well versed in it.
I think it was you, Pete, maybe yesterday when we were broadcasting. Of course, some of these cars were racing if people on listening weren't there. That you mentioned that this car is kind of difficult, especially when you're going slow, to figure out where the edges are. You know, the front edge and the left corner the right corner. You know, it really is. It's like what is it? A extra sense where it is. You have to know.
And Tyler was talking about that as well. It's definitely having that spatial awareness of how far forward your car is from where you are, and your field of view. It's something that you have to get used to, otherwise you can't race closely with everybody else. So this is now Chris Shaw approaching the back of Tyler's car. Tyler shouldn't be having a pit again, and Chris definitely will for an amount of fuel. Very wide line from Tyler.
Tyler dropped off very slightly there.
Yep.
And you saw by that he lost a lot of momentum when he went off there too.
He did, yeah. And Chris is going to be wanting past him because he needs to get as far down the road as he can in order to make the most of this next pit stop, whenever that will happen. He's deciding whether to go, and he's not going to go yet. He's going to get a big sweeping turn out of Sunset and get lots of momentum onto the start-finish straight, and into turn one possibly. But he's dropped off quite a way there, hasn't he?
Tyler did a nice corner that time.
He did, yeah. It was very well held, actually. So no, not an opportunity into turn one.
Tyler's really put the hammer down all of a sudden.
A quick shout out to the sponsors of this league. So 365 hosts, Damar and Yato. Don't forget to go and find out all about them.
Yep, we really appreciate their support, and hopefully the people that are listening and competing will use their services if needed.
There's Ben. Ooh, and a lovely slow-mo.
See if he catches the white and blue guardrail. Yep, he's going to get it.
Not
too bad.
Yeah, there wasn't much in that. Hopefully it's not done any damage. And he's got it back facing the right way pretty quick. He's dropped behind Artie Boschart, though, which will cause him a little bit of issues. There's only 1 second behind him at the moment. But as we know with these cars, getting on the back of someone's one thing and passing is another.
For sure.
We saw in the race yesterday that once cars popped out of the slipstream, it was almost like they hit like a wall.
Yep.
And they lost all that forward momentum. Maybe it'll be different at Sebring, maybe different in the daylight as well. Maybe the hesitation last night was also a part of it.
I'm sure. You know, the one thing about Sebring that's kind of funny, when you're racing all light cars like you have here, you know, there looks like there's a lot of places to pass, but you have to really make some good moves and set people up ahead of time to pass. It's just that simple.
Definitely. And we saw Chris Shaw there before he got onto Big Ben with a massive amount of wheel spin coming out of the previous turn. And he's dropped off Tyler Newitt again. So maybe a tyre change is needed in this race, and Chris is trying to nurse those tyres to the end now because he won't get the time back that it takes to do a tyre change.
I was going to say, I was wondering how many more laps Chris has that Tyler does on this particular stop. Well, I don't know. They didn't take tires in the pits either, so it's hard to tell.
No. It is hard to tell. Ben's caught Artie Boschart again.
Oh, really?
Race director says Chris Shaw's been in and gone back out again. He must have been a very quick splash and dash, but has the fuel to get to the end now.
Yeah, he's currently in 6th place behind Tyler Newitt.
Yeah, and given the fact that he was in Crash Central right on lap 1, that's a great recovery drive. And he's done some amazing laps along the way. But the fastest man on track is Wes van Dijk, out in the lead of this race. Still doing faster laps than everybody else, a 146.32 last time round. Still has the fastest lap of a 144.95, which is eye-wateringly quick.
He's definitely on a different postcode, no doubt about that.
Oh, without a doubt. Only a 34-second lead for him now, so he's probably getting nervous. In second place is Kevin De Winter, who has a 14-second lead over his teammate, Kevin De Vale. There is Kevin, making his way towards Le Mans.
Do you think to be on that team you have to have the first word name Kevin, and then the last word it has to start with DE?
Yeah. Right, here we go. Tyler got on the dirt a bit there, and
It looked like he got slowed there a little bit.
yeah, and Chris has passed him. It's a replay. Tyler's going for it again, though. So they're side by side, and Chris eventually makes the move work. Out of tower. We're carrying on with this, so obviously something else is going to happen here. Tyler on the inside. Chris has now got the inside for the next turn. So there are swap-in positions here quite a lot. Maybe that. So maybe these guys are thrashing it to the end. We've got Alex Roggenbuck on the screen now. Heading towards Cunningham corner. Is it? No, it's not.
I went straight off.
Straight on. I don't know where that is now. Oh, that's the hairpin, right? Okay.
That's the old hairpin, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get a slowdown for that, actually, what he just did.
I think you do. Oh, hang on. Whoa, Artie Boschart off the track, and thank you very much, says Ben Cullen.
A side skim off the tire wall for...
Yeah, I don't think that's done any damage to the car. Yeah. Probably bumping over the grass was more than the rub with the wall. Alexander Roggenbuck in the pits. And Tyler chasing Chris Shaw. So this is for 5th place now. Depends whether Tyler's got the fuel to get to the end, or whether Chris has, because if he's not calculated it right, he might be in trouble, I guess. So Chris, I'm being informed, pitted 2 laps after Tyler, so he should have more fuel on board, but it does depend on what he limited his fuel intake to, so certainly pulling a bit of a gap here now. He's got a second over Tyler. 7 seconds back is Sam Buzan.
And we have a little under 15 minutes left to go.
The Tyler's got for Chris, he needs to sort it out now. There is Sam doing a steady race. He's got an nearly 19 second lead over Ben Cullen, who's further back still. And then Artie Boschart is 6.5 seconds now behind Ben after his excursion. There he is. And Manuel Winants is still on the track. And he's currently in 10th place. Still gets himself a top 10 for Stage 1 Racing Seniors.
Yep, he's still plugging along. Looks like the front end of that car's damaged to me, but...
Right.
Might be looking at it funny, I'm not sure.
This is your race leader, Wes van Dijk. 36 seconds is his lead at the moment. Ooh, hang on a minute. Was that Dion parked in the escape road just there? It was. There's Dion heading towards Cunningham, is this? No, is this Hairpin again?
Straight off again. I wonder if there's another. It's where almost like.
Oh, no, that is Cunningham, yeah. And back with Wes Van Dijk. He's closing in on the back of, is that Ben? It is Ben Cullen. Put Ben a lap down. I mean, he's still lapping faster than everybody on track. Another 146.25. Next closest is Kevin De Winter on a 146.42.
And we're on board with West Van Dyke behind Ben Cullen in the BSTB yellow car. They're going toward the chicane.
Gets a massive gain under braking, doesn't he?
Did, yeah.
Closes right in.
Word has it that the top four may have to do a splash and dash before this is over. We're down to about 12 minutes to go, a little bit more.
It shall be fairly interesting for Kevin and Kevin.
Yep.
And especially for Hans, because that might mean that Chris, Tyler, and Sam all get ahead of him. So this it's not over just yet. Fuel strategy, tyres strategy, general pit strategy has still got something to play out before the end of this.
Ben Cullen's holding. I wonder if he's trying to save a couple of gallons here, following Ben. There he's going by him now.
No, it seems to be foot to the floor for Wes Van Dijk right from the flag.
And Ben held station pretty respectably the way Wes is going.
Yep, definitely. Dion Neuveld is in pit lane at the minute. He obviously had some struggles when he had his off track. I don't know whether he's having technical issues, because he went very slowly straight on. So maybe he used his VR and he couldn't see or something. I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. He went straight off there. That's 2 times in a row he did that. That doesn't seem right. But...
Yeah, I think he's got technical issues.
Tyler's having a couple. He's having a sliding fest right now. I don't know whether he's trying to catch Chris Shaw. I mean, I'm not a wise thing to do at this moment, I don't think. But
yeah, it depends when he last took tyres, if he even took tyres at all. I wasn't sure whether he had done. So they're probably at the end of their life now. Less than 5 minutes to go. No?
No, it's about a little less than 10, Pete, I think.
Oh,
about
I
10.
keep forgetting that the outlap on this track is massive. So I look at the time and apply that. But, yeah. So Tyler getting sideways through that turn onto Big Bend. Oh, and Wes Van Dijk's in for a splash and dash.
Got a pretty considerable lead, though. He can get away with it, probably.
Oh, you can get away with having a meal. So when did the others come in last, Bill? Kevin De Winter and Kevin De Vale
I couldn't tell you. I have no.
and Hans.
Okay, Wes Van Dyke's back out again.
Yeah, we may see more peeling off to pit lane. Yeah, Kevin De Vale into pit lane. He needs a splash and dash.
Probably
And this what might bring Chris Shaw, Tyler Newitt, and Sam Boozen back to the pointy end of the field here. Hans has followed him in.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Who's that going by out there? That was a red car.
There's Chris Shaw, who should be fuel happy because he was lasted on lap 36.
Yep, he went by.
As does Tyler. So these two are definitely going to get 2 positions from that. If Hans has had to come in and he pitted on the same lap as Kevin, Kevin's managed to string out one more lap, but I think he's definitely in.
Need more
At
than
the end
a
of
lap.
this one. Yeah. Sam fighting the back end of that car.
Wow.
Kevin De Vale has managed to get out in front of Sam.
Yes, he
So
has.
it really does depend on what Sam's still got fuel-wise to the end, as to whether he still has to keep fuel saving, or whether he's hit his numbers enough that he can now hit the go pedal a bit. And here is Kevin De Winter approaching the end of the lap. Is he having to peel off for the pits? He is not. Around he goes again. Certainly, well, he's obviously not fuel saving at all. He's trying to get around as fast as he can. So it'll be interesting to see how quick his in lap is for a start. And how long he has to sit in pit lane for, and will Chris Shaw overhaul him? He's got 42 seconds over Chris Shaw. And he is lapping faster than Chris Shaw, but not by much. Only about a tenth the last time round. He'll be obviously lighter on fuel right now. Into Le Mans for Kevin De Winter. Unless that P2 is a hybrid, I don't see how he can go any further now. This will be 15 laps, I think. No, this will be 16 laps that he's done on these on this tank of fuel. And there we go, into pit lane. So this will be critical now to see where he pops back out again. Chris Shaw just coming out of tower. Through the S's towards Le Mans.
I think Kevin De Winter can get out ahead of him.
I do as well, looking at how much track is left before the pit exit for Chris Shaw to pass it. But it does put Chris Shaw on a podium, which is pretty impressive that he's managed to do that with the damage he was originally carrying. And here is
the winner now.
Yep. Out in front with, it's going to be something like a 25-second gap to Chris Shaw. No, it's not. My timing screen just sprinted forward in time. And it's now telling me around about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
If we got Artie Boschart doing, keep off the gas, Artie, going over the dirt. And, yeah, that was just a blushes one, really, wasn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it's such an easy place to do that. You know, you're trying to get off that corner hard, man. It's uh-oh.
We got a turn. There we go. Not too much though. Manuel Winnants getting a bit hot into Cunningham.
Another easy place to mess up.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin De Winter now has exactly 10 seconds over Chris Shaw. If he's calculated his fuel correctly, he should be able to manage that gap easily to the end. There's 3 minutes of racing left, which is probably 2 laps, I would say. All depends where Wes is when the timing's calculated to run out.
Yeah, Wes is now over by the chicane heading toward Cunningham, I believe. Yeah, we believe it's going to be a white flag this time for Wes Van Dyke. We'll have to wait and see, but probably. He's going through Tower now.
Tyler. Doing faster laps at the minute than Chris Shaw, but he's 3 seconds back, so I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do in what's left of the racing. He's probably still having a fuel save, to be fair, because when you consider he's chopped out 3 full laps in fuel saving, technically. It's a huge amount of fuel to save. Here's Hans Blancart, he's 4.5 seconds behind Sam Boozen. But he should be able to go full beans. It's just 4.5 seconds is going to be a bit too much, I would expect. Depends on how heavily Sam Boozen is still having a fuel save.
Okay, we've had the white flag. We're on the final lap for the leader, Wes Van Dyke.
Here he is. Onto Big Bend, under the bridge.
Under the pedestrian bridge into the chicane.
Kevin De Winter fan club is on the chat in the form of Annie Conan.
Wes heading down toward Cunningham, past turn 8. Most boring station on the whole track. It is terrible. Okay, through Bingham down toward.
Yep, into the S's here before we get to Le Mans.
That is a nice complex that goes onto that straight, though. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a well-designed bit of track, that. And like I said before, given the fact that Sebring is so flat, it makes for great racing.
Yeah, it does. Whoops.
Last time into Sunset for Wes Van Dyke.
Unless he totally messes up, he is going to win this race.
Congratulations, Wes Van Dyke.
There he goes, yeah. Well done.
Creates himself a bit of smoke there.
Well done, Wes Van Dyke. That was a heck of a performance.
Absolutely. In the distance there, that Artie Boschart crosses the line. It's going to be a little while before we see Kevin De Winter. Around about 40 seconds worth of track was behind Wes Van Dyke. Here is Kevin, here to take the second step on the podium. So congratulations to him. Bit of flashy lighty.
Absolutely. Nice race, Kevin De Winter. Good job.
Way off in the distance there, you'll see Chris Shaw is the third car home.
Well done, Chris. Yeah,
A challenging race for him. Tyler.
Good race, Tyler.
And then,
Well,
yeah, Kevin DeWale and Sam Buzan.
Boozin, way to go, Sam. Look at this, a run to the finish. We're going to do a photo finish.
Hans Blancart and Ben Cullen.
Ben Cullen coming out of sunset. I almost said sunshine. Sunset. Well done. Well, the
Burnouts for Wes.
yes, indeedy.
Okay, so wait for the official results to be displayed. Shot of Artie going wide there, I think. Oh, was that Dion? Oh, here we go. Slow-mo of Dion.
He's gone off all sides of turn 3 today.
Yeah.
He really, it's a hard corner, it really is. I mean, you're coming through there, he's wide there, obviously, and you get to the edge there, and all of a sudden you run out of road. Like that.
And that curb's massive there as well, or it feels like it. And
you try to correct like he's doing, guess what?
yeah. Okay, so hopefully we get the official race results on the screen now. Here. I can't read them that quick.
They went zip up to the top.
Yeah.
Pete, I can read them off iRacing. It's the same thing. If you want me to.
He's got it. We're just on the second page of it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I shall read them off SDK and hope that it's right. So your race winner tonight was Wes Van Dyke for Bend Carbon Racing. In second place was Kevin De Winter for Stage 1 Racing Juniors. Chris Shaw came home third for BSTV Esports Yellow, with Tyler Newitt in fourth for BSTV Esports Green. Kevin DeVale finished in fifth place. There we go. For Stage 1 Racing Juniors. Sam Buzan finished in sixth for BSTV Esports Green. Hans Blancart finished seventh for Stage 1 Racing Seniors. And eighth place being Ben Cullen for BSTV Esports Yellow. Artie Boschart finished ninth for Stage 1 Racing, with Manuel Wannance in 10th for Stage 1 Racing Seniors. Alexander Roggenbuck finished 11th, with Dion Neuveld in 12th for Stage 1 Racing. Marnix Dewitt finished some way down in laps, but still finished 13th for Greenleaf. And 14th was Antoine Blancas for Bend Carbon Racing. So we do have a couple of interviews. Are you wanting to do any, or shall I do each one?
I'm going to let the professional you do it.
And so if you know who he is, then let me know and I'll get him in here to do the interviews. So hopefully, if I've pressed the right buttons, Tyler Newitt will be in the booth. Good evening, Tyler.
Hello.
Hello. So, a professional bit of fuel saving going on there, I'm sure. How many laps did you actually manage to save over the course of the race?
Off of going flat out, 5, so 2 17-lap stints and a 16-lap stint. Honestly, it wasn't a massive fuel save like it was at Daytona. I don't think I could have gone much quicker. Was I not fuel saving? It was another race where kind of the strategy was made for me early on. You know, that the lap 1 incident was.
Yeah, we saw you in the hairpin. You were unable to stop and probably took some front end damage hitting the back of another car. At least yours wasn't the one doing pirouettes across the top of the one in front of that. And you, Sam, obviously crept all the way around and avoided any damage, whereas you weren't able to do that because of where you were.
Yeah, it just kind of separated us. Separated me from the kind of lead pack. I didn't have anything for West today, but I think I could have kept up with the stage 1 guys had I been damage free and kind of in the tow with them. But with the damage and the having to wait at the hairpin, it kind of put me behind the 8 ball. So I was planning to do a 2-stop anyway, but any kind of doubt about it was removed then and there because it was the only way to try and get some of that track position back, and we did. I was able to jump a couple of them. Sam, I think, jumped hands at least.
He did, yeah.
And would have had he not had his spin. So, it was not the most fun race because, the only car I was around for most of the race was Sam. I had a nice little battle with Chris, but that was for a lap, and then he was gone. So, it was a little bit lonesome, but I'll take 4th place points.
Yeah, good points for 4th place. Where are we at next? I can't remember. I've already forgotten what the schedule is. Next race is at Spa. You like Spa, don't you?
No, I do not. I like it about as much as I like Sebring. So.
Oh dear. Well, that's not going to work. No, hopefully we'll have attracted some more drivers for next time, and there's a lot of races going on this weekend. Obviously, the 12-hour from yesterday is also an affecting factor, I think. And we'll get some racing at Spa. So, congratulations on your 4th place. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to BSTV, NBSTV Esports, and all the sponsors who put the race on. 365 hosts, Yato Damar, Virtual Racing Association, and of course the other series sponsors, EDF Motorsports, Race Tech. It's wouldn't be possible without them. So thanks to everybody who puts it on, and thanks to you guys for calling the race.
Yeah, good race tonight. 4th place, Tyler Newitt.
Thank you.
I need to flush you. Done. I'm not used to this, but right. So the only other individual who's coming in for an interview is our very own Sam Boozan. How are you doing, Sam?
Yeah, not too bad. Could have been better though.
Yeah, we saw you creep around the hairpin incident, and it looked
that was
like you got no injuries, as in no damage from it, because it didn't look like you hit anybody or nobody hit you.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, and then what happened after that? It was a saving fuel strategy, the same as Tyler, or you didn't feel like you had the overall pace to go at it and reel in the likes of Kevin or Kevin or anybody else that was called Kevin, because
was it the 18 hours you were involved in a broadcast yesterday?
Yeah, I try to follow along Tyler's strategy. I mean, fuel saving on this one was pretty easy. In fact, I thought first try I would not save fuel, but I just tried like 5 minutes before the race start, and was okay. Was not losing too much time, so I gave it a go, and it was effectively working. So yeah, a bit of a great race. A bit pissed off by the back markers. Beating me 5 times, I think.
Right.
When I just stay behind someone alpha lap just to give him room, and when I finally go into a straight, he just fight on the braking and then hit me 5 times. That's I don't think we will get more people if people like this. I'm just pointing out the stage ones guys, but maybe not all of them. There's quite a few ones that are good, but yeah. I remember a few of them from EEC was not good, and they've been banned from there, and I do remember why now, so that's a bit harsh, but that pissed me off after 20 minutes of racing, so I'd have to go out.
Yeah. We do know that the Stage 1 boys did the 24 hours of Le Mans yesterday, so I'm sure they're quite exhausted as well.
Oh yeah, the league, they sign up knowing they were signed up for us, or the other way around. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So 6th place overall tonight. Couldn't quite catch Kevin Neuveld in the pit strategy, or the pit stop strategy, I should say. But for the team overall, Chris Shaw in 3rd. That's good.
Yeah, we did pretty good job, I think, in the team. Without the incident with the back marker and without me making a mistake just when Kevin went out of the pits. I could have fight the position for 5th, I think. I was the same pace as him, so without saving fuel. So yeah, I missed that one. But 6th is not too bad. Tyler just 4th, Chris 3rd. Yeah, being slow, but we all know that, so that's okay.
I'll wait for the insults to appear on the chat.
I'm waiting for it. Yeah. No, we did have a great race in the BSTV Discord, so yeah, that was enjoyable.
That's all that matters. If you have fun doing this, so good result really in terms of points, 6th place, and we'll see you at Spa next time.
We'll probably practice for that one.
Yeah, you better
for a change.
Yeah. Any shout outs before I eject you from the live booth?
Not Clyde.
No.
Bill, because he's he's a good lad.
Thank you, Sam. You're wonderful.
You, Pete, for once. Yeah, Tyler and Ben for sharing everything with me today. It was great. 365 host, Yato Demar, and all of the other league sponsor, and VRA for the support as well.
Excellent stuff. 6th place tonight, Sam Boozen.
Yeah, bye.
Was on top of that one. Not the most exciting race we've seen, Bill, especially after the lap 1 incident. But Wes van Dijk, no taking anything away from him, absolutely dominant at Sebring.
Yeah, absolutely. He took over when his teammate quit out of the race and got all the points and won the race, which was really excellent. He did a great job. Never put a wheel wrong that I saw. I mean, of course, he was out in clear air by himself the whole time. So, the only thing he could hit possibly was a rattlesnake or a rock or something. But he did really well. The battle behind that, found it interesting between the Stage 1 guys that were, Hans Blankard and Kevin DeWinter, and our 2 guys, Sam and Tyler. And of course, Chris Shaw. It was kind of interesting how the pit strategy played out, that our guys got back ahead of them, which I thought was kind of neat. And, feels good for BSTV to be on that end of it for a change. But it was fun to watch. As I said, could have been a little better. A few more cars would have been nice, but all in all, pretty good race, and not a bad way to spend a couple hours.
Not at all. And I've just seen Wes van Dijk's racing helmet inside the car, and it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Wow.
I wouldn't like that bearing down on me, that's for sure. But yeah, another shout out to the sponsors, 365 hosts, Damar and Yato, for putting on this league. And any mention from you, Clyde? Do I let you speak? I don't know. Go on.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed that race. You can't take it away from Wes Van Dijk. Absolutely fantastic drive. But good to see the BSTV teams working together. Obviously, Tyler's been giving them some fuel saving tips. And they managed to do it on 2 stops. So yeah, all in all, apart from the lap 1 mess, some really good racing. Managed to press lots of buttons. Some of them were even right. And yeah, no, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, on that note, we will remind you that the next race is Spa. That's in a fortnight's time. We have a reasonably busy week this week. The next race will be people laughing at me crashing my way around Phillip Island on Wednesday in the TCR GT4 League. Let me click through that. There is V8s next Saturday, back in action. The V8 ESC Race Tech Cup will be rounds 1 and 2 from Hockenheim, a 30-minute race and a 60-minute race. Don't worry, we're back to our standard cameraman for that one. On the Sunday is the VRA GTCC at Watkins Glen, which is the boot course, the one that I like. That's a 90-minute race. And then on the following Monday will be Next Level Esports GT3 at Zandvoort. So don't miss any of that. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch and on Facebook. Try not to miss anything. And let's hope we get some more drivers next time round. It's good night from me, and I'll hand you over to Bill.
Totally agree with what you said, Pete. Thanks to all our sponsors, our drivers that showed up tonight. And as he mentioned, would sure like to have more. Thanks to our stand-in cameraman, Clyde Whiting, and my colleague, Pete Bingham, and enjoyed it. And hope you all have a good evening. Hope to see you next time.
Yeah, and thanks from me. Thanks to Bill. Thanks to Pete. Thanks to the drivers. Thanks to the sponsors. And thanks for everybody watching. Catch you next time. Clear. Well, I think we are. I don't know. Test. Yeah.